Regardless of what you might think of Amazon, you can't argue that they don't have a great customer experience. When the website was first created, they focused on knocking out all of the biggest problems that a customer could have. It led to a great customer experience and created the behemoth that they are today. So when you already have such a successful business model, it really begs the question why Amazon aren't replicating that on their gaming properties. Where Twitch today actually has a policy where they will ban cartoons of Winnie the Pooh wearing a bikini in a hot tub, but make their own special category for human beings to do it on their own website, just to appease the advertisers. And you might think this is hypocritical, but Twitch says it isn't. You see, Winnie the Pooh wearing a bikini is just too explicit. Whereas if you actually find women in bikinis in hot tubs explicit, that's your fault, you dirty-minded bigot. Well, who am I to say what I am? I can't judge myself very well. So I thought I'd get an independent third party to verify. And I sent my mate a screenshot of the actual category over PM in Discord. And I got this message from Discord. So, hey, it's not just me, Twitch. It's not me. You blame the bigots over at Discord. See what they think. Now, this leads us on to New World, Amazon's second attempted game. The first one got released, died, said it was going to come back, and then carefully got axed quietly in the dark. This isn't their attempt at an MMO, and to be honest, it actually looked quite good, although at first it was a bit iffy. The more footage they've been putting out about it, it looked quite fun. I was going to try it, but when you start hitting these kind of controversies this early on, it's never normally a good sign. You see, what they released was this first announcement. It was about their in-game store. And although, yes, it hits all the right notes, that you have to be very careful, because this isn't a free-to-play game. This game costs $40. So if you're ever going to put a shop in a $40 game, you have to be very careful. This isn't free-to-play games get away with a lot more. You can have a lot more leniency because it's free. But when you're paying for the game, you have to be careful. Gamers have generally they've accepted only cosmetic stores. It gets away with a lot of things. And a lot of the time they've accepted season passes. Those are the two things which I think most people are okay with. As long as they're purely cosmetic, no one really cares. That's not what we have here, though. Oh, they made it try to be. They made it seem as if it was. But they used a lot of Weasel Words. Weasel Words are overly specific phrasing or caveats which make people... You're trying to insinuate that you're saying a certain thing, and people may well assume that you are, but if you pay careful attention, you're not. For instance, they say that they, oh yeah, it's definitely going to be cosmetic. Only cosmetic. You're never going to have to pay for anything else. We don't want to put things behind paywalls. Who would want to do that? No. It's going to be free, only cosmetic, at least at launch. Yep, at launch, it's going to be purely cosmetic. We're not going to give you anything which gives you instant gear score increases. Not instant ones, no. We're not going to give away XP passes. No instant experience. We wouldn't want to do anything like that. And, of course, what they don't seem to realize is the internet has a lot of people in it, and a lot of those people are employed in marketing and stuff, and we've been around the block, and we've seen all this stuff before. So when people said, just to confirm, you're not selling XP passes, are you? You're not selling pay-to-win mechanics. They went, oh, no. We're not selling XP passes. Nothing will give you instant experience, not instant ones, no. We are going to sell XP passes. Yes, when gamers find you in the lie, they tend to not like it. They don't like you pulling the wool over their eyes. So, boy, they were pissed. Now, it says at the start of this, right at the very top, we're going to make mistakes, and so we're going to try and fix them. And what that means is we're going to try and push this as far as we can, and then when you get angry, we're going to take one step back, and you're going to thank us for doing that and keeping us reasonable. And that way we can just kind of push to the very boundary of the limit. Because if there's one thing gamers like, it's literally being pushed to the boundaries of what you physically find acceptable. Otherwise, you'll leave the game. That gives me a lot of confidence. It really does. I like game developers that have that kind of attitude. It gives me a lot of confidence in the future of your free-to-play paid game. But they even say, we're going to make mistakes, we're going to go back. And so they made a mistake. And they said, we're interested in your feedback. If we make a mistake, we'll take your feedback and we'll fix the problem. So, of course, when gamers came out and said, you're selling XP passes, you're selling teleports around the map, you're talking about doing other things in the future that aren't just cosmetics. We don't like this. We don't want this. We consider this pay to win. Fix it. Obviously, they fixed it. I mean, they said they were going to. We're going to take your feedback and advisement and fix any mistakes that we make. And the game hasn't even launched yet. You could fix this right now. And most people in the gaming industry, most gamers, most customers probably would never know. Of course they did that. Of course they fixed their problem. No, they doubled down on it. That was the problem there. Because if there's one thing that gamers really like when you've insulted them once, it's insult them the second time in exactly the same way and think they'll be too stupid to realise. Now he opens up with a rather weird statement. Our plan in the store is to create an outlet for players who find enough value in in-store items and that they're happy to purchase them. Yes, it's called trade. We know how trade works. The issue isn't that some people will find value in these things. The issue is whether this is fair in the game. The issue is whether it will devalue other people's work in the game and the efforts they put in to get things in the game, where someone else can just come along with a credit card and jump to the same level. Now again, this isn't generally considered that big of a deal, depending how severe it is in a free-to-play game. It's free. This isn't free. This is a paid game. It has different rules. If I buy your game and then I have to spend 100 hours getting to a place and someone else buys your game, gives you a load of money and spends 30, that's a problem. You shouldn't just be able to skip content in a game. And that's what this is. If you're buying XP passes, you're skipping content, you're skipping levels, you're skipping work required. And I know that the game developers probably think that this is just a problem. Oh, no, they're just skipping time. No. You don't understand the message you are sending to the players. You're telling people that you designed a game that is so boring, so horrible. It's such a grind and a dull experience that you believe people will actually go out and spend money not to play it. It doesn't fill me with confidence to actually buy your game in the first place. This kind of thing hurts sales, and not necessarily for the reason you believe. It's not just because they're annoyed with what you've done. It's because of the message you are sending. No one, under any circumstances, should ever want to pay to skip playing your game. Even free-to-play games nail this. They make people pay to play the game. Pay to skipping content is the most insane thing ever. And again, this isn't like Warzone, where people may get experience passes to level up a battle pass to unlock cosmetics. This is experience. This is in-game levels. That's content. Oh, I can't imagine releasing a video and then going, hey, if you pay me £5, you don't have to watch the next 5 minutes because it's absolute trash. No, I want you to watch the video. This isn't complicated. And they carry on with the Weasel Words. Because all store items at launch, keywords, will be exclusively cosmetic in nature. At launch they will. Because you see, we want to lure people in. We want people to look at the cash shop and go, no, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. And when they've bought the game, when they've paid the money, that's when we're going to introduce all of this stuff that they won't like. And we know they won't like it, which is why it's not in at launch. Says, looking forward to the future, we will also test ideas on how to offer players quality of life items. You see, XP passes are game mechanics. XP passes are now quality of life. A quality of life change is something that makes your experience of the game more enjoyable. And if skipping content, if skipping levels, if the XP grind is so awful, so dull, so boring that it needs to be skipped, that it counts as quality of life, like literally skipping content in this game will improve your quality of life. I'm honestly, I'm not sure that's something you want to pay for. And I'm not sure you want to pay to have the privilege of paying for it later either. Just doesn't... You're not instilling confidence. None of this seems like a good idea. Now, for transparency on future plans, we're also contemplating, but have not finalized, a Battle Pass style program that would combine store items into a periodic basis. This will also be tested ahead of time to provide strong value without disrupting gameplay for those not participating. Much further along, there's also the possibility of optional expansions, which would have a separate cost. No one has a problem with you monetizing your game. And in an MMO, which has ongoing development, no one has a problem with you getting ongoing funds. We've known this for years. There's been subscription models for years. And you don't want to do a subscription model because you want more players in the game. I get that. I understand that. But you're going to have expansions. Okay, I like expansions. When I first started PC gaming, expansions were what everyone did. I think they're great value for money. I like them. I wish we'd stayed there. And you've got battle passes. Okay. I'm okay with battle passes. They generally have free currency in them. Eventually, the free currency will buy you a battle pass. And when you get the battle pass, it pays for itself. And you can keep getting them as long as you keep playing the game. Okay, I'm kind of okay with them. As long as they're not pay to win and they're just cosmetic. Fine, as long as it's all cosmetic. Okay. So then why do you have a cash shop and you just keep adding on time after time, product after product, monetization after monetization? No one minds you getting funds, but when every single thing comes down to it, in a game that you've paid $40 for. But hey, you know what's worse than doubling down and people are still angry at you? Tripling down and making them even more angry. They started replying to the comments, which admittedly, some of them were very well thought out and put together. It's a shame his responses weren't. They even utilized what I can only nickname as the Batwoman excuse of, we have a $40 game and our monetizations aren't actually as bad as other games. We're not doing things like, we're not doing other more predatory practices like paywalls, cooldown timers, etc. I'd like to point out that cooldown timers are almost exclusively reserved for the mobile market, specifically the free-to-play mobile market. You're a PC game, and I believe a console game as well. A fully paid game, a $40 paid game, and you're going, well, don't worry, we're not as bad as all those predatory mobile games. No one said you were. We're also not the same demographic. We're not the same target market, and we don't have the same expectations as those people. The mobile market is on mobiles, and I pray it stays there. Nobody wants that stuff on PC. So you going, yes, but other people do it as well, is literally as bad as when Batwoman said that it was okay that she murdered a guy because some man did it. You are literally using this Batwoman excuse. It's not a good look. But hey, every story has two sides, and some people were in favor of it. This one on Reddit even said that he actually preferred boosts, because he thought they were more reasonable, and he prefers them to armor and weapon cosmetics. Oh, well, bad luck for you, because they're doing that as well, and I think if they only chose one, no one would mind, but when you're choosing everything, yeah, pick. Another one says he actually prefers the rest experience boost rather than just instantly getting experience, because in WoW or in Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of people were bad at tank, heals, and DPS at high levels just because they'd skipped most of the game. Or all of the game, in fact, and just bought their way to the end, and I can see that's a problem. So instead, you think an improvement is them just skipping halfway to the end because they'll only be half as bad as everybody else. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, just following your logic, these passes not being available at all would be even better, as the players would be even better because they've played more of the game. Probably think through your replies before you say them, I think. But the issue is, you're talking as if you've played this game for a year and now newbies are coming through and they've skipped some of the game and they'll be bad at the end of it. Yeah, the issue is, if your game is so bad that people are willing to pay to skip it, how many new players do you think there'll be getting through to the end? How many players do you think will be in the first wave that get through to the end and stay playing for a year? You should want the content to be as good as possible. You should want the content to be so good that people would never play to skip it. Because when a game is that good, when a game is that enjoyable, that's when you keep people around for a year. That's when people keep playing. That's when you get newbies through word of mouth coming in a year later to play your game. But if you make a game where people want to skip it, no one's coming in a year. No one will be there for a year. It'll just be you and two other guys struggling to fill a raid. That's the problem you have. But hey, this is just my opinion. There's clearly people on both sides, so who am I to say? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Which side are you on? Let me know in the comments below. If you like the video and click subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.